Hi, I'm Hazel. It's Saturday again, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I've been up to, and answer some of your questions. This week, boy, do we have WoW news this week because we just came off of BlizzConline, at least the first day with the big announcements. We found out a number of things for the first time, assuming that you didn't read through any of the leaks. And today I'm here to round them up, summarize them, highlight them, talk about all the stuff that I'm like real excited about and all the things that stood out to me, as well as like hit all the basics, which was pretty much what they did. It was very much like a high level broad strokes sort of thing, at least for the WoW section. So they've officially announced patch 9.1. It's called the Chains of Domination. It has a logo. It has a cinematic, and the cinematic was quite something. They played this during the opening ceremonies, and then they played it again during the WoW section. It was weird to watch a BlizzCon released cinematic without being at BlizzCon. That's usually one of my favorite parts, is just being in the crowd, watching the news unfold and seeing the characters do the things and like getting the big chills with everybody. I did not get that this year, although I did watch it on my phone while I was getting tattooed. Just as my schedule worked out, I was watching the presentation from the tattoo parlor today, so that was kind of fun. I still got some of the chills. I thought the cinematic was really cool. I did not expect it or see it coming at all. I kind of thought that we would like, I don't know, have a Bastion raid where we went to fight Carestia, and I guess that's out now, so job done, thanks Anduin. He's like Arthas now, except that it's less his fault. They did, of course, announce the actual new raid coming in 9.1. It's called the Sanctum of Domination. It is a 10-boss Maw raid. Already, we're going to be able to fight the Terragru. We're going to be able to encounter Sylvanas. We're going to fight Kel'Thuzad again. I am excited, but I'm really surprised. I kind of thought that with the Jailer set up as the big bad of the expansion, that the Maw raid would be at the end of it. And I suppose it never occurred to me that the Jailer might leave the Maw. So now my thinking is I guess we're getting the Maw raid now. And maybe we fight the Jailer later elsewhere, like maybe he goes for a walk. But the raid looks really cool. I'm starting to feel about finished with Castle Nathria, so it's good timing to have like news in the horizon about what's coming next. For the outdoor content of patch 9.1, they have announced there will be more Maw content with a brand new area added to the Maw called Korthia. There will be new cosmetics to collect, there will be new systems. They didn't give us details on the systems, but we got some screenshots of some cosmetics to look forward to. Mounts will start to work in the Maw in 9.1 as well. Very exciting, something to look forward to, especially for anybody that does not currently have a Maw mount. I do have a Maw mount, and I'm still excited for this just because it means I won't have to remember to swap my keybind around to use my Maw mount whenever I go to the Maw. I'd be lying if I said that I was hyper pumped for more Maw content, but I currently, like right now, I go to the Maw approximately never. I guess I go once a week to get Lost Souls for my renown. And now that they want us to get 20 of them in a given week, and I know that number is going to go up even more, they're starting to lose me with that too. So right now I'm doing about none of the Maw, approximately none. So there's nowhere to go but up from here. Speaking of Maw related stuff, they announced that there are Torghast updates on the way, new powers, new floors, new enemies, all that jazz. They did not mention why we might want to go back and do Torghast again, aside from just curiosity, for people that are already like done with it. I'm sure there will be reasons, but they are not forthcoming on details yet. Some theories flying around, or maybe they'll let us wear 2 legendaries, maybe we'll be able to, it would be fairly expected for us to be able to upgrade our legendaries, or for them to add new ones, or some reason to not be completely done with Torghast. But in any case, more content coming for Torghast. I'm hopeful, and we don't know this for sure, but I am hopeful that they take this opportunity to kind of shore up classes and specs that tend to underperform in Torghast. Maybe they don't have as many builds to go for, or maybe the builds they have don't scale as well. If they're adding new powers, then hopefully they target the people that are already having a tough time in there and give them some options of exciting things to shoot for so that they can have as much fun as I do on my Holy Priest with my Scales of Trauma cruelty sensor shenanigans. In addition to the raid and outdoor zone and Torghast stuff, and of course the expected season 2 of Mythic Plus and PvP, we are also getting a new mega dungeon. There is a broker themed 8-boss mega dungeon coming in 9.1, and this should be so much fun. It's being very much done in the style of the structure of Mechagon Mega Dungeon, and then the Karazhan one before that in Legion, where you have it on Mythic 0 only at first. So when it comes to 9.1, it will be available as a very long, singular experience on Mythic 0 only, and then later on down the road, it is very likely and implied that they will split it into halves for the sake of Heroic and Mythic Plus. But for now, it'll be just like a really long, probably more challenging than the average dungeon experience. In theory, that's how they usually go. And those are usually so much fun to do. It feels like playing through a 5-player raid, and I love them to bits. I can't wait. We're also looking forward to flying in Shadowlands in 9.1. That is coming. We knew that already, but extra super double confirmed for the people in the back. We are going to be able to fly in the 4 zones of Shadowlands. Not anticipated being able to fly in Oribos or the Maw, but Bastion Ardenweald, Maldraxxus, and Revendreth are going to get flying, and boy does Revendreth need it. And they extra super double confirm for the people in the back that it will not be tied to a rep grind. No rep grind, just behind Covenant story, and Covenant story is behind Renown. So as long as you get your Renown caught up, you do the Covenant campaign, you are going to unlock flying, and along with it, you are going to unlock a Covenant-specific flying mount. Each of the Covenants is going to get a brand new Covenant-themed mount, and they showed them in all their colors during the BlizzConline stream. So this is the Kyrian one. I can't wait. It reminds me of the Priest Legion Order Hall class mount, but like even sleeker and then more Kyrian. They have this Necrolord flesh fly. I forget what they called it, but basically a flesh fly, and good grief, that's gross, but I want it. The Venthyr are getting Stoneborn mounts, which is really cool. And then the Night Fae are getting these things. They can only be described, and I have seen them named on Twitter, as wolf noodles. And I have so many feelings and none of the words to express them. The feelings I have about this thing cannot be articulated in English. All I can really say is... So those are coming in 9.1, and you will unlock them when you unlock flying. It was not immediately clear to me, maybe I misunderstood, whether you get all 3 colors. It wouldn't surprise me if the other colors, like if you unlock one with flying and then the other ones come from something else, but I don't know that for sure. On topic of Covenant cosmetics, they also showed off Covenant cosmetic armor sets. So each Covenant is getting one brand new armor set that can be equipped by anybody regardless of armor type. So it does not matter what class you are. If you belong to the Covenant, you can wear and transmog the armor set either all together or in pieces. And there's like a couple, they're not just one set. There's like a few different variants in there. There's like a lot of good stuff. So this is what the Kyrian stuff looks like. So there's a very breezy kind of messenger style Kyrian outfit to wear. The Night Fae get this kind of Wild Hunter themed situation. The Necrolords get a very classic Necromancer look. And then the Venthyr one, I love this dress so much and I need it immediately. I'm mad that I have to wait because you've showed it to me and I want it now because it's very pretty and it's exactly what I want for my new Venthyr priest. These sets look fantastic and they're not armor bound. So like that dress could be worn by like a plate tank. You could wear that as like a leather rogue. So you can just stealth around in PvP and stab people as a leather wearing rogue in this like red carpet style dress. I'm so happy. If I had to pin down a theme of the 9.1 announcements that we saw today, I would say there was lots of cosmetics and then broad strokes of what we're getting, which is the expected stuff basically of new zone, raid, seasons, all that kind of thing. New vicious mounts actually, new vicious gorm mounts coming, that's kind of exciting. And then not so much on the system details. Usually for big info dumps on major patches like this, they have more to share in terms of systems, and they really didn't get very deep into that. I'm getting the feeling, based on how they phrased it, that they are holding on to details about systems until they have a PTR ready so that people can test the things while they're forming their opinions, as opposed to like reading a blue post and then having to just fume over that for like 2.5, 3 months before they actually get to play it and find out if it's any good. So that, and then combine that with the fact that there was no date and no hint of a date, and no like feeling of a date. We know that patch 9.0.5, the half patch, we know that's coming in March, but we have no idea when 9.1 is coming. And I'm getting the vibe, and I'm frequently wrong, so don't listen to me, but I'm getting the feeling that it's not soon, like that it's not super, super ready for, you know, imminent release or anything like that. So I'm imagining summer for 9.1. Which would give people lots of time to work on finishing things like their Keystone Master and their Season 1 Vicious mounts and all that good stuff. If you're not finished with that, I'm certainly not. I am guessing that the 9.0.5 update coming in March is going to have to tide us over for a little bit of a while. Speaking of 9.0.5, they dropped some patch notes this week. A couple of new pieces of information here. Depleting a key, so when you don't make the timer and the key goes down and you only get one piece of loot, now you're going to get 2 pieces of loot, and one of them will be a little bit worse, which is still an upgrade, still better than only getting 1 piece of loot. As a professional in making keys go down, this is great news because for the most part, very few people ever got loot in any key groups I was part of because I am not an expert at making timers. Also, once you renown cap at 40, your weekly anima quest will still exist, but it will start to give you 1,500 gold instead, which is kind of nice. I know some people that are making pretty decent gold off of just having alts and doing callings, and this will be another fairly low maintenance way of utilizing your alts to kind of increase your generation of raw gold if there are gold making goals that you are working towards. Also at BlizzConline, they did announce Classic TBC, which is very exciting. I will try it out, although I don't think it's necessarily for me. I'm not really a Classic player, so I'm not, and I didn't really play it during Burning Crusade either. I started in Wrath, and I'm mostly very excited for like Shadowlands and modern stuff, but I'll try it. I never did hit level 60 in Classic, and I really have no intention to, which might have thrown a wrench in things. There is an FAQ on Blizzard's website saying that there will be, for people in that situation, a character boost service that will take 1 character from your account up to 58 for the sake of catching up to play TBC Classic with your friends. The wording of this is kind of ambiguous. We don't have a ton of details yet. It does not necessarily sound free. So I haven't decided how I feel about that. If TBC Classic comes out and they want $60 for a TBC Classic boost, I'm probably just going to sit that out because I'm going to play it for like a day anyways, but at least it's still included with your WoW subscription. In my life this week, I had a little bit more work done today. I was mentioning I was at the tattoo studio, so I got some new line work done on the upper part of my sleeve. That's all brand new today. And that's it. What did oh no, I made a food thing. It wasn't even very good. It's not worth mentioning. I cooked some beets and then I chopped them up. And then I mixed them with some portobello mushroom stems and then like some garlic and cheese, like some feta cheese, and then a little bit of mozzarella. And then I put it like on the portobello mushroom and then I roasted them. And they were good, but like the beets kind of combined with the cheese and with like when I tossed it all together, of course beets stain everything. So it all just kind of looked like chopped gore that you might find, you know, in front of a core hound in Firelands or something like that. It tasted very good. But it occurred to me there might be a reason that people don't usually chop up beets and then mix them around with a bunch of stuff is because it makes it all look incredibly pink. That's what I've been up to this week. It's very exciting, I know. Questions for this week. Abdul wants to know, what do you think 9.1 and 9.2 will be about? So we know now that 9.1 is very much Maw focused, and then usually around the 0.2, 0.3 patch, they start to weave in early threads of where we're going in the following expansion. My predictions have all been kind of thrown off by the fact that we're getting a Maw raid now. I was convinced that it wasn't happening yet. So, assuming that we fight the jailer elsewhere, where is really anybody's guess? You know, it would be weird for them to do a Maw raid now and then do another one of the same kind of like theme and the same kind of architecture for the jailer later. So I don't know. I do think if I had to guess at where we're going in the next expansion after Shadowlands, I would say Naru light themed stuff is something that feels fairly right for them to circle back around to, but I don't know how they would wrap that back in around now. So 9.2 is an absolute mystery to me. They could do an Ouroboros raid where, like, it's a pretty small city, so it doesn't make a huge amount of sense to have a raid kind of like the Dazar Lore raid, but maybe there's no enemies, and the whole point is that we just run around the city trying to make as much noise as possible to wake the Arbiter up, because that's the only thing that will save us. And nobody has any better ideas other than to, like, bang some pots together, so maybe that's it. And Oraline asks, a question from a WoW noob. Once the new patch is released, will a higher item level be available? Like higher than 235, which is currently legendaries? How does that work? Are we supposed to farm gear now that will be outdated soon? Yes, patch 9.1 will come with an item level boost, and our current gear will over time be replaced. Usually within an expansion, they don't bump the item level up so drastically that you like immediately chuck off everything that you're currently wearing. It will do you some good for a while, and people that are in like full 226, 235 stuff are going to probably continue to wear that for a while, but you do replace it, and the stuff that you're working for now is not forever. But that's true all the time in WoW. That is always true. You will always eventually replace your gear, be it next patch or next expansion. Gear is always a temporary thing, which is why I never buy BOEs on the auction house, because gear is only temporary, but battle pets are forever. And that's been my week. Thank you very much for watching. If you have a question you would like me to answer in a news video, please leave it in the comments of the most recent one and include the word question to help me find it. Cheers, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.